Chelsea begin talks with Camavinga in what looks like set to be a long, drawn-out transfer saga this summer. Rennes getting what they potentially want in a bidding war. Many people asking, is Camavinga going to be the next done deal? We're going to delve into that and much, much more in the next hour or so. A potential blow to Manchester United in their pursuit for Raphael Varane. Saul Niguez to Liverpool. We'll be taking your calls, reading out your comments. Hit that like and that share button. Here we go. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Terrace. Lots of transfer talk to delve into this afternoon. Eduardo Camavinga is dominating the headlines, trending right across the world. And of course, we want to gauge your views. We want to gauge your opinions. We want to know what you're thinking and feeling in relation to this. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love some of the comments from some people. Terry, did you hire a new journalist today? That's a very weird comment to throw at us. First of all, as we're starting, no, we didn't. Terry, join from the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Absolutely. So we have set up a brand new WhatsApp group for the Football Terrace today. That WhatsApp group essentially is for you to make sure you don't miss any more notifications about us going live. YouTube not sending them out like they should. Discord is not everybody's thing. So we have set up a private group. It's for admin use only, so you're not going to get any spammed messages. We will just be posting as and when new content from the Football Terrace goes up. If you want to join that WhatsApp group, the link is available right now in our description below. You'll see it. There you go. Get yourselves joined up to that. I see some people joining it and some people leaving it. I find it very weird. You either want to be notified or you don't. If you don't want to be notified about when the Terrace goes live, don't join that WhatsApp group. Anton saying, great that the WhatsApp notifications work. That's brilliant to see. Brilliant to see indeed. Right, let's delve into some of these stories today. So I've been maybe DM'd about 20, 30 times today. Terry, do you think Camavinga is going to be a done deal soon? Do you think it's going to be close to getting over the line? I've never felt that it would be. And the news that has come out this afternoon categorically tells me, 110% tells me, no. I don't think this is going to be a quick deal. I don't think this is going to be something Man United get resolved quickly. A £30 million bid is expected to go in from Manchester United for Camavinga at some point in the next week or so. Is it going to be rejected? Probably. Is it going to be turned down? Most likely. There's talk today that Chelsea Football Club are now interested in holding talks, or they have held talks with the agent. Of course, the Stella Group, very well represented in England. They're a British-based agency, so it isn't surprising they've had those conversations. But the word is right now that Rennes are trying their best to create a bidding war for the player. They quoted something silly like 60 to 70 million euros to Arsenal earlier on in the transfer window. Man United are saying they'll give 30 for a player with 1 year left on his contract as well. And reportedly, that's going to be turned down. The reason that many think this is going to be a long and drawn-out saga is Rennes want to try and create a bidding war. So they're going to try their best to say no to any offer or any deal that comes in. Of course, Camavinga is going to play a large part in this himself. Does he start to push for a move away a little bit sooner? What does he do? But as it stands right now, it's reported that this is going to be a fairly difficult deal to close down quickly. Chelsea's links to him, I'm not even sure how much I believe them. I'm not even sure how credible I think those links are. Chelsea buying a central midfielder of similar age and ability to Billy Gilmour at this point, when they already have Kovacic, they already have Jorginho, they already have Kante. They're desperate. They're desperate to go after Declan Rice as well. So in terms of the Chelsea talk, personally, I don't think there's anything in it. I'm not saying the reports are false. I believe this is Rennes trying to drum up and create a bidding war. So I would very much expect in the next day or so, Real Madrid to hold talks with his agent, Arsenal to come back in and speak to his agent. And I think this is going to be a pattern we see with this deal. Man United's interest does appear to be genuine. Man United's interest is real. They have spoke with the agent. They have spoke with Rennes. They've informed via intermediaries that they will be submitting a bid somewhere in the region of 30 million euros. But to answer the question that many people have posed to us at the Terrace today, is this going to be the next done deal? Is this going to be over quickly? No, it doesn't appear to be. If it is, that would be a massive, massive shock. There are still a lot of reports in France that he may end up remaining in France playing next year. And if Rennes say no to these 25 to 30 million pound bids, I would very much expect him to stay and see out the last year of his contract. I cannot imagine that Man United or any club in England is stupid enough to start playing 40, 50 million pounds for a player who, from a transfer fee point of view, is free next year. You would just wait till then, make a good offer to his agent, make a good offer to the player, and go after him. Of course, Man United want to act before that because they don't want there to be a rush for the player, which there will be. Man United see it as a perfect time to strike, and strike now to try and get this deal done. That's what they're thinking and feeling in relation to that. But Camavinga to Chelsea, it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't even feel genuine. It doesn't even feel genuine to a large proportion of Chelsea fans I've spoken to today as well. I really don't think it's one of those things that it just doesn't feel real at all to anybody looking at it at all. So to answer the question, is it going to be Man United's next done deal? No. It really, I think Varane could move faster than Camavinga by the sounds of things. That moves us very nicely onto Raphael Varane. And thank you, by the way, to Nash for signing up and becoming a squad member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us. It really, really does. Josh here says, getting recklessly excited about this window. Look, I would just say, listen, be very happy with the kind of personnel Man United are looking at. Do you know what excites me more? Has been Man United's approach. The way we want Camavinga, let's not wait until next year. Let's strike while the iron's up. Let's spend money on him now rather than trying to get him for free next year because we want to secure him for the future of Man United. You know, the Raphael Varane deal, as we're going to move on to and talk to about now, is this. Raphael Varane and his team are expecting a new offer from Real Madrid, and they're expecting Carlo Ancelotti to try and convince him to stay. As stated many times on the Done Deal show by Dean Jones, Man United have anticipated this the whole time. They haven't completely disbelieved the interest from Raphael Varane into Manchester United Football Club. But what they've always believed is that he isn't 100% cast iron sure that he wants to join Man United, and that's it. They've never been sure that he wouldn't re-sign a new deal at Real Madrid if the right offer came in. They've never been sure that he wouldn't have joined PSG if the right offer came in. So when I go back to talking about how excited are you about Man United's window, I'm excited about the fact that Man United are not having their trousers pulled down and their bellies tickled when in negotiations for these deals. That's the impressive element here to me, above and beyond anything else, is that we're still working and looking and talking to other centre-backs. We have made our offer. If Raphael Varane at any point turns around and says, listen, I've turned down the latest offer, I spoke to Ancelotti, I'm not re-signing at Real Madrid, Manchester United would then pick up on their pursuit. That isn't meant to happen for a couple of weeks. Raphael Varane is on holiday. It's reported that no decision will be made in that time. Where the blow comes isn't a blow to Man United fans that have been listening, but it's going to be a blow to Manchester United fans that have been burying their head in the sands and only listening or seeking the confirmation bias and the good news that's around. I think even Fabrizio Romano has spoken very much about this today, talking how, I actually read about it earlier. Where are these comments? Got to find them now. Sometimes these pages move so quickly, you actually lose. It says, where does it go? I'm going to find it for you in a second. Bear with me for 2 seconds, people, until I find this update. Till I find this update for you. Where are we at? It was on my screen. My screen refreshed. I'll find it. It says here, this is what was said earlier on today. That Raphael Varane expects a gesture from Carlo Ancelotti that will open the door to him staying at Real Madrid. only possible if Real Madrid offer him an improved contract. That's essentially what the gesture is. Carlo Ancelotti has said that he wants to keep Rafael Varane. The question now comes down to, are Real Madrid going to pay him what he's worth? Most believe if they improve their offer by about £2 million, maybe £2.5 million per year, in what's that in equivalence in euros, 3.5 to 4 million euros per year, they could get that job done. The blow stands because at the end of the day, some Man United fans have been hoodwinked into believing that he only wants to join Man United, that it's a sure thing. It isn't. We've stated every single step of the way that Man United are not even convinced that at this point and at this moment, it's as close to being done as people are making out. And the Man United are not even fully and utterly and totally convinced that he isn't going to look elsewhere. So that's where that is right now. I'd love your views and opinions on this. We're going to share the link in the live comment section for you to phone in and for you to have your say. We'd be really intrigued. It'd be nice to hear from you all as well around what you're thinking and feeling in relation to this. Smash that like button as well for us, people. It's very important to the Football Terrace that you like our streams, that you share these in your social media, on your social media platforms as well. If you're new to subscribing, that's great. Please turn on the bell notifications. But we do know that there is a habit. There is a habit from YouTube to not always send out notifications, especially with the regularity of which we stream. So we have set up a private WhatsApp group that's admin only, so you won't get spammed or you won't get messaged by anybody. It won't be like bare notifications all day. The link's in our description or in the live comment functionality. I've just shared it now. This WhatsApp group, you can go and join it now. You can get yourself signed up in that group so that you don't miss any more notifications from the Football Terrace. So get yourselves across to that. Go and get that done for us now. I think it's about 150, 160 people in the group right now. We want to try and get that up to a few thousand. As I know many of you message me on a daily basis saying you're not getting notified, you're not being made aware of things. So I'm going to take that in hand. Dominic Calvert-Lewis says, the deal is agreed, Terry. What's the issue? I've just checked. I have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. Specificity, please. Specificity. It'd be really important that you do that for us so we understand exactly what you're talking about. If you're talking about Rafael Varane, Varane has accepted Man United's personal offer. Rafael Varane has accepted the terms that Manchester United Football Club would give him. From Man United's point of view, personal terms is a done deal, or it isn't going to be a problem, or they've got a pre-agreement. Whatever kind of phrase you would like to use, that is done, that is dusted, that is exactly where Man United want it to be. However, no deal's been done with Real Madrid yet because they're trying to convince him to stay. So why would they accept an offer? They've now put something out saying they want 70 million euros for him. They've upped their price. They've done this very, very publicly. If Rafael Varane turns around and says, I'm not signing a new deal, they're going to lower that asking price. Why? Because he has 1 year remaining on his contract. They want to bring in some cash so they can go out into the market and buy somebody else. They're heavily linked with Jules Koundé and they're linked with Pau Torres, who ironically are also two of Manchester United's targets as well. There we go. Sharik here says the door to stay at Real Madrid has always been there. Man United's position has been personal terms is never a problem. He would like something new. Also, changing agents indicates a move to a new club. So I don't disagree with anything that has been said there by Fabrizio Romano. He's bang on and he's spot on. He's definitely shown an interest in coming to Man United. I think he's definitely thinking about something new. But most experts believe if Real Madrid were to offer him the same money as Manchester United, that he would stay. If he turns that down, then you would see Man United increase their work rate towards getting him. But instead of doing that, it's very smart business and they're biding their time. They're keeping their eye on other deals and they're not basically putting all their eggs into one basket. We're going to go to some calls very, very soon as well. Mo here says, Terry, Lord Fabrizio hasn't said they've agreed terms. I don't really care. He said that personal terms won't be a problem. That means exactly the same thing. It means he'll agree to what Man United offer him when the official offer comes in because he knows what Man United are going to offer him. If he had no idea what Man United were going to offer or if he thought it was unacceptable, then personal terms would be a problem, wouldn't they? But the fact that Fabrizio said they're not a problem is that it's semantics, Mo, my dear friend. I really hope you're not being dragged into that nonsense, my brother. I really hope you're not being dragged into those things or being something different, but maybe you are. Let's go to our first caller of the day. I want to get Ziad on. Ziad's a Chelsea fan. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you make of the news that you might be talking to or trying to sign Camavinga this summer? What's your thoughts?
Afternoon, sorry.
Um,
I'm a,
I'm a,
I'm a bit
I'm a bit surprised
because
because
mainly because
mainly
what
because
you
what
said
you
with
said with
the
the
age.
age.
He's very
He's
young,
very
and we
young, and
found out a Billy Gilmore who's pretty much the same age as him.
age as him.
And yeah,
And
we
yeah,
do
we
need a
do need a
midfielder, and
midfielder, and
we're
we're
looking to
looking
buy
to
a
buy a
midfielder this
midfielder this
season.
season.
But
But
he's just
he's
too
just
young
too young
to.
to
We're looking for someone that can rotate a bit and
who's
who's
going
going
to
to
be
be good
good
enough
enough
to
to
play in
play in
the
the
rotation
rotation
game
game
in the
in
FA
the FA
Cup,
Cup,
Carabao
Carabao
Cup.
Cup.
And
And
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
he's at
he's
the
at the
level yet,
level yet,
or at
or
the
at the
age yet, or developed enough yet to be able to challenge any of our midfielders. And even though we do have a Kovacic, a Jorginho, and a Kante, that isn't enough. So we 100% need and will go for a midfielder. But personally, I would rather go for a more developed kind
developed
of
kind of
midfielder.
midfielder,
Even though we are
looking
looking
to
to
Tuchel.
Tuchel from Monaco, who's been credited by Czech and Cesc Fabregas. But personally, I would rather go for a Declan Rice, even though his price is bad, and that's what puts me off him. So it's going to be very interesting what Chelsea do in terms of getting a midfielder. But I definitely don't believe any of this Camavinga updates for Chelsea, and I think he's either going to go to PSG or Man United. Mainly PSG probably because he's still a young kid, and he would probably rather stay in his home country, develop his game more, and then make a big move to the Premier League and Manchester United. Because even in Man United, I don't see him getting that much game time, and probably you saying him going back to Rennes on loan, even if he does sign for Man United, is probably the likely case.
Yeah, and look, you're absolutely right. That could be. By the way, when people phone into the terrace, try your best to call in with earphones in and a mic. If you're using your phone, still have earphones in. It stops any echo from coming through. It's just important that's done because we're trying to turn the. So we found out recently we've been playing when we try and do the sound effects and stuff. If we have the echo counselor on with StreamYard, it's what breaks the sound up because StreamYard picks it up as an echo and not a separate noise. So if you phone up, you do try your best to have earphones on, anything that blocks the sound from going out of your phone so we don't get the echo.
Right.
But listen, I hear what you're saying. I just don't think the Camavinga to Chelsea links are real at all. I just don't. I think they're kind of they're being used to try and create a bit of a bidding war. That could change. I could be wrong about that, but it just seems too convenient that the news breaks about it's almost public negotiations. The news breaks about Man United, and then it's actually we want a lot more than 30 million, and then within an hour Chelsea are in talks with him. It just sort of feels very, very convenient. Very much what I'm seeing with Brighton and the Ben White situation as well. It all just feels a little bit too convenient, a little bit too clean, a little bit too obvious for me to kind of buy into it in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but even though if because it seems that he's only got a year left, and it looks like what Rennes have put a price tag of 30 million euros. So in that case, I thought Chelsea maybe look, we want a midfielder. He's young. He's pretty much cheap for his prospect and potential. Why would we want our rival to go and get him? Maybe that's Chelsea's thinking, because I'm sure this player has been on like he's been on people's minds for a long time, and he's not someone that's just been thought about now. I'm sure clubs have been looking at him for a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea are thinking about the way of we need a midfielder. He's good, he's young, he's got a lot of potential, and why would we want a rival club to sign him? So maybe that's the thinking, but I do maybe it is the fact of Chelsea just not even thinking about it, or it may be that we are going for him because we need a midfielder. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I don't believe the talks either way.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree with you on that. I think there could be truth in it, but yesterday Ben White, today Camavinga, two kind of hijacky type stories, one after the other. I think Chelsea's name's being used. I also think it's interesting, really, because Chelsea fans are almost a little bit desperate at the moment to see their club linked to players. and they're demanding it every day. Who are we linked to? When are we going to be linked to somebody? Blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of feel like they need to be patient. Maybe Camavinga's real. I just don't quite feel it myself. Ziad, great call though, mate. Thank you for coming on and having your say. We are going to talk sound against the Liverpool. That's another story that is circulated today as well. If you want to phone into the terrace, we'll share the link now in the live comment section. We actually pinned it to the live comment section if you want to get involved. Some of you really confused me though. Quite a few of you today have joined the WhatsApp group for the notifications and then left. Why would you do that? It's very strange. Just don't bother joining, please. And I know some of you are sending me private messages. I'm really not going to respond to too many of them just because I can't get into that habit. I will say hello as best I can. But yes, so hello to a few of you that have done that. But yeah, that group is purely for notifications. If you want to join the Superfan and Legend group, lots of communication there, daily videos, updates from me. Please feel free to do that as well. You can get all the information for that by clicking on our join link or our members link in the comments in the description below on this video. So let's talk about Liverpool situation here with Saul Niguez. So one of the big headlines today is very much that Atletico Madrid are willing to negotiate with Liverpool over Saul Niguez. And this one's kind of caught me a little bit left field, really, because I hadn't seen many links between Liverpool and Atletico Madrid for Saul Niguez prior. But we know that Atletico Madrid are up for selling in this summer. It's been a story that's circulated on in generality quite a bit. The article here says that Atletico Madrid are open to selling midfielder Saul Niguez to Liverpool, who have earmarked him as a potential replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. The Dutchman joined Paris Saint-Germain, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to go into all of that. Liverpool's pursuit of a successor for Gini Wijnaldum has seen them linked with a number of different midfielders all over Europe, including Aston Villa's John McGinn. A number of reports now coming out of Spain suggest that Atletico are willing to negotiate with Liverpool over a potential transfer as they look set to wrap up the signing of the Udinese and Argentinian midfielder Rodrigo de Paul. Saul is open to leaving Real Madrid this summer and is seduced by the idea of playing in the Premier League, and possibly Liverpool could capitalize on that. However, it's noted that Liverpool retain an interest in Hoffenheim and Austrian star. It's going to be a hard one for me to pronounce. Christoph, I can't even pronounce it. I can't even pronounce that. Baumgartner, maybe that's how it's pronounced, who impressed with his performances at Euro 2020. So there's no cast iron link here that Liverpool are going to go in for him. Liverpool are going to try and sign him. But it does very much appear that Liverpool, of course, are looking for a midfielder. Saul Niguez. The question I want to pose to Liverpool fans tuning in and rivals in general is, how good a signing, in your opinion, would Saul Niguez be for Liverpool at this stage, at this moment? Is he better than Gini? Is he a marked improvement? I want your thoughts and feelings. I want your opinions on this. My view, I would be gutted if Liverpool do this. I would be fuming if Liverpool pull this deal off. Saul Niguez is a footballer that I have been desperate for Manchester United to sign for 4 years, 5 years, screaming at it. For me as an individual, this could be Mane and Fabinho over again. Both of them players I was desperate for Man United to sign. Liverpool now being linked with Saul Niguez, it's a worry to me. It's the caliber of midfielder that Liverpool need to be looking at. No disrespect to John McGinn, Saul Niguez is levels above. Absolute levels above, proven in La Liga, proven in the Champions League, proven international. This would be sensational business for Liverpool. We know they're good at negotiating good fees. You know that it'll be paid over a decent amount of time. This would be absolutely sensational. Twisted here says Pogba or Saul Niguez. Of course, Paul Pogba. But Saul Niguez is still an absolute quality player. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. He's an absolute quality player. We're going to get Ram on to have his say about this deal. I'd love to get his view of it from a Liverpool fan's point of view. Ram, welcome back, mate. Saul Niguez to Liverpool. What are you saying?
Yeah. If anyone knows, I Saul Niguez. Saul has been at the top level for quite some time. I remember his first real breakout game was against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, where he ran through that entire defense. If it was me and I was personally going to go out for a midfielder, I'll go for Marcel Sabitzer. but then there is an element of bias because I watched the Bundesliga a lot more than I watched La Liga. But if we get Saul Niguez, it would be absolutely brilliant for us. He is better than Gini Wijnaldum. He's performed at the highest level for a longer period of time. I think he started playing for Atletico at 22 years of age. He's still relatively young. So, yeah, it'll be a great signing. It'll be a great signing. And he's not like a like-for-like replacement, but he can do that centre midfield job that Klopp wants his midfielders to do, which is defend from the front and also cover for their centre backs and also bring something in midfield, added edge in that midfield that we needed in the last year.
Yeah, listen, I want to make sure I phrase this in the right way. I feel like Sabitza's good. I think Saul Niguez is a level above Sabitzer in my opinion. But only slightly. Only slightly. Yeah. I think Saul Niguez is criminally underrated, and we've only ever really seen him play regularly in a fairly pragmatic Atletico team. Yeah. I think he's going to shock a lot of people if he was in, say, a Jurgen Klopp system. I think he'd blow a few people's minds in terms of the overall quality that he possesses as an individual. So I'd be very, very intrigued to see him in a Liverpool shirt. Gutted at the same time, though. Yeah. Absolutely gutted at the same time because of how good he is. I wanted to get your take on the Camavinga situation as well. Man United reportedly in talks with him today, or last week. Chelsea reportedly involved with him today. Rennes trying to get a bidding war going. What's your take on it, mate?
I'm not surprised that there's going to be a bidding war for Camavinga. Camavinga's the most sought out young midfielders in the world. Facts. Like Real Madrid had wanted him for quite a bit of time, and he is a very, very talented player. I see him going to United because of the Pogba situation. If any United fan want him to join as a DM, I don't think that's good for him because he's only played there a couple of times. And do you really want a young player to learn on the ropes at Manchester United, a massive club, as a lone DM? I don't think that's beneficial for him. But I can see this happening because of the Pogba situation. And I do agree that Chelsea are being used, I wouldn't say used as a puppet, but they're used for a bidding war. Their name has been used so many times. I think the only real link that they had was with Hakimi, but Hakimi's going to PSG. So, yeah, I think the media are starting to play on Chelsea's desperation because you can see it on the socials, who he's signing, who he linked with. And they're getting a little bit desperate, and quite a lot of these agents and media outlets are using Chelsea's names to drive up the price or get a bidding war going for any of their players.
Yeah, well, Konstantin Ekner said earlier on today that Eduardo would be open to joining Manchester United. The meeting last week went well. United are pushing for the transfer, whilst Rennes are hoping for a bidding war. As soon as you hear that a club are trying to create a bidding war, that's all you need to hear. That's literally all you then need to hear in relation to the sort of news that's going on. Yeah, go on, mate.
Sorry, I was going to say I just thought of something right now about the Saul deal. I don't know if this is true, but apparently Atletico Madrid are trying to get Renato Sanchez, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe
I've not heard that. Okay,
but maybe I'm just saying maybe there might be some truth in it where they're already looking for Saul Niguez's replacement, and that might be Renato Sanchez, because there's always these rumors about Joao Felix urging the club to sign Renato Sanchez, which is interesting for just the Saul news. But that's something different.
Yeah, look, I mean, I actually think the prospect of Saul Niguez leaving Ati is true. It's been floating around for a fair piece of time now. But we will see. But we'll see what happens with that. Listen, Ram, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. We really appreciate that. Everyone who's tuning in, do me a favor and smash that like button for us right about now, please. Very important to the Football Terrace that you get that done. We have a super chat here from Chris. Says, my little brother is a ball boy at Rennes. He has been watching him for years and says he's the complete machine, can play anywhere in the midfield. Now, I don't know how true that is that your brother's a ball boy. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But Definitely wasn't last season with COVID. But listen, at the end of the day, I think Camavinga's such a highly touted player, such a kind of sought after player. I'm not bothered. I don't even think it's the case. I just look at Chelsea's link. Chelsea being linked with a quality player is fine. The reason that I'm questioning it is nothing really to do with Chelsea. It's more to do with the situation with who else they've got. I say, let me rephrase that. Of course, it's to do with Chelsea. I'm talking, the reason I'm questioning it is because I don't feel like Chelsea need a midfielder like him. With Billy Gilmore, with Kovacic, with Mason Mount. I know Mason Mount can play further forward and does. It just doesn't feel like the right link at the right time. I could be so wrong. But there we go. That's my thoughts on that. Remember, get your super chats in. Anyone tomorrow evening when we do the preview show for England versus Denmark, that is when we're going to be doing the announcement and doing the prize draw for June's winner of a football shirt. Remember, anyone who super chats in over the value of £5, your name instantly goes into the hat for the prize draw in July, and anyone that signs up to our membership packages as well. So make sure you get that done. Let's get to some more calls here. Next up on the show, we're going to have Vivishwan, who's a Liverpool fan. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Terry. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. What's your take on the Saul Niguez news?
It's a weird one because personally, he's not my first choice. For me, I prefer Renato Sanchez as a Wijnaldum replacement because I feel like Renato Sanchez is more physical, and we saw him in the Euros where he's done for Portugal, pick up the ball in midfield, driving forward, and using his strength, and that's like similar to Wijnaldum. But Saul Niguez, he's a very good player. Like, I'm not sure. I heard a report saying the price is 60 million. Is it true? His price?
In fairness, I've heard a number of rumors in the last few weeks. Ranging from 40 right up to like 70. So I think it's going to be in that 50, 60 million pound region. Yes.
Yeah, it's just previous transfers around 40 to 30 mil with Liverpool. So unless we sell, like, for me, sell Naby Keita, I think that's the player we should sell. Probably Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. Then we could probably use that money to get Saul or Renato Sanchez. If it's a player that Klopp wants, if Klopp wants Saul, then get us Saul. He's a talented midfielder. So if we get him, man, it'll be a good signing overall.
There we go, mate. Listen, thank you very much for your call. Really appreciate that, buddy. Take care of yourself, and we speak to you soon. Next on the show, we're going to go to Nick Troller. Nick Troller's here with us, Chelsea fan in the house. Camavinga to Chelsea. Are you buying this transfer rumor?
Oh, I'm not sure. I do get a slight whiff of paper talk because I know we're also linked with Tchouaméni and Rice, But honestly, I'd like all three of these options. I don't necessarily mind which one comes in. I do think Camavinga is great for the long term. I'm not sure how much, game time he'll get coming into the team, especially with the performances that Jorginho's done at the Euros. He's been one of the standout players for Italy. And same thing, we got Kante, two nearly unbenchable players. So it may be tough for him to come in. And if he's willing to, initially learn, and be just slowly filtered into that team, almost like that Foden style, just give him more minutes each season. If he's willing to take that, then I think it could be very prosperous for the future. But I'm still yet a bit skeptical whether he'd want to come to us because of that reason, because he's not guaranteed game time, whereas maybe a Man United or even an Arsenal, but I don't think he's going to go there. He could get game time somewhere else.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like, is he good enough for Chelsea? His age and his profile, of course he is. It'd be a sensation for Chelsea. It's just with everything else you've got and who else you're linked to, it just seems a little bit out of the blue. Although you've been linked with him in the past, but look, we could all be wrong, and it could be something that Chelsea 110% want and 110% kind of go for, mate. So yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. In terms of Chelsea's transfer market in general, how do you feel about it? Are you frustrated? Are you happy? Are you annoyed?
I'm optimistic. What I would say is, I know we haven't signed anyone or been that decisive, unlike United. You know, they've come in, they really want to make a statement, and I think they're making it quite publicly too, with all, you know, the other stuff that's happened this season. But I do think we work best in the shadows. We are, you know, I think prioritizing this Erling Haaland deal, and that just takes time. It's as simple as that. You can't pull all these strings together, get the finances involved in a couple days or two. This stuff takes serious and proper negotiations. And I think on that front, you know, I think we're willing to break our wage structure, pay him whatever he wants, you know, get him into the club. It's now on Dortmund's end and our, you know, transfer negotiators to get him in. Yet I do think we also need another couple players to reinforce the squad, right? Because we have to build upon what we've done this season in Europe, you know, and fully fight for that Premier League on all fronts. So I do think maybe a wing-back reinforcement is needed. Definitely someone in the midfield, a Camavinga, you know, Tchouaméni, Rice, someone like that, and potentially even a centre back. So it's down to the club really about being decisive and getting these players, because I don't want to see another 2017 repeated. You know, we won the league, just got stinky transfers in. So I think, again, for that Haaland thing, I think, I'm not sure when, but the Dortmund preseason training camp kicks off sometime towards like the 20th, 23rd, something like that. So if there's no Haaland news by then I'll be properly frustrated, because I think if we haven't got the Haaland deal done by the time Dortmund start preseason, it's not going to happen.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a very, very difficult one for you to get done, to get over the line past that deadline, because Dortmund are going to want to do their work. I think what's really interesting about Dortmund, and I'm waiting for some confirmation on this, but it does appear that they're looking at an alternative striker this summer, and they're working on that deal right now. And it's interesting because since Man United's capture of Sancho has been announced, there's suddenly been this kind of notion that we've seen put out by people that's, oh yeah, they've been negotiating for a replacement for a good number of weeks now, and that deal is pretty much done. It's why United's pushed forward, and that's something we suggested a while ago. So if I'm a Chelsea fan right now, I wouldn't be panicking at this moment.
I'm not.
I would just.
I'm looking forward to it.
You were after 1 or 2 targets this summer only, 1 or 2 targets only, and they're big, hard targets to land, and they're going to take time. And one of them is arguably going to be the biggest transfer and biggest investment into a player in the history of English football. So, of course, it's going to take time to get over those lines. Listen, great call, mate. Great opinions as ever, Nick. And it'd be good to speak to you again soon. Thank you, buddy. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you have hit that like button and you have hit that share button. It's very, very important to the Terrace that you get that done. Lovely super chat here. Amazing donation to the Football Terrace from Tox Cole, long-time viewer, subscriber, and always a supporter. He says here, just supporting the channel. We signed Varane, and I'll super chat $300 or PayPal. I mean, in fairness, PayPal is better because when you super chat, YouTube takes half of it. I don't think people realize that sometimes. Maybe we should just set up our own donating platform, right? Like Just Giving. Well, let me ask you that question. People that super chat the Football Terrace, would you rather give all the money to the Football Terrace or half of it to YouTube? A genuine question. Would you rather give it all to the Terrace or half of it to YouTube? I suppose that's the question we'd have to pose to people. Maybe we should just set up our own. I don't know if you can even do that, like a Just Giving, but for business, and then just donate to that. Maybe that would make a little bit more sense. We can't put it up on the screen in the same way. And I know a lot of people like to see their name in lights. That's just a genuine question. Got no plans to do that. It was just popped into my head when I saw that. But there we go. My brother, I'll leave that up for a while. That's an amazing donation to the Football Terrace. And your name for that, your name's going to go into the hat like 20 times this month to win a football shirt. So you've just improved your chances of winning the prize by a hell of a lot. We've also got, I want to say as well, ladies and gentlemen, we've also got a number. We're going to be starting something very, very soon. A lot of exclusive streams on Twitch. You're going to see us working alongside Twitch very, very closely soon. So do us a favor and go into the description below and go and follow us at our Twitch account. We're live on Twitch right now as well. Go and check us out over there. Go and follow. But there's going to be a lot of exclusive content, especially when next season begins. A lot of previews and a lot of watch-alongs are going to be centering around Twitch. We're going to be working very, very closely with Twitch. We've got a good partnership on the way with them. As I keep telling you, we'll just be patient. Levels coming up at the Football Terrace. Lots going on. I prefer PayPal. Please have a PayPal link. I mean, I have a PayPal. It's just in my name. So I'd probably have to set one up for the Football Terrace because we are officially, we're a limited company now. Like we're a proper business. So yeah, we're more than happy to do that. And maybe we'll put that link in descriptions and then people can decide where they want to go to. But I won't be able to put your comment up on the screen. So we have to mitigate it. But we can work on that, my guy. We can work on that, my guy. Cash out people to talk about. I didn't know these things existed. I'm just old. I'm going to put a poll up now on the terrace. Where will Camavinga play next season? I want to get your views on this poll here. I'm going to put it out there. And the options we're going to give you are going to be, will he be at Chelsea, Man United, Rennes, or PSG? They're the options that we're putting out to you now. So go and take a look at that for us. You've all commented, but do the vote. Do your vote there, my friends. Next caller on the show, we've got Monster to come. We've got Caden Armstrong to come. We've got Jurgen Klopp to come and a few others. But before that, we're going to go to Habby. Habby's here. He's got a big smile on his face as well. Habby's in the house. What you saying, bro? You're on mute, my brother. Unmute your microphone, my friend.
How's it going, Terry?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So this Camavinga to Man United, that's what I'm hoping for.
Me too. I'm starting to get excited about it. This kid is one for the future. And I keep saying, right? So I want to ask you this question. I keep saying we should be looking to sign the new Pogbas and the new Koulibalys and the new Harry Kanes. Is just, in your opinion, does Camavinga fit that mold?
Oh yes. He's not like a DM, but he's box to box. So I mean, we need a DM, but like he's someone that I feel that he can challenge for a spot in the midfield. So, and I feel like he can make Pogba happy. You know, he can add that French connection, maybe, because maybe I'm thinking this means that Pogba's gonna leave, but maybe this can maybe help him to, maybe he can be a role model to Camavinga. Maybe, you know, something like that could happen. But
yeah, I agree. A lot of people saying he isn't the new Pogba. Again,
no.
Yeah, exactly. The viewers that are saying that, you're completely missing what was said. I love the idea of signing stars, but sometimes you want to sign the player that's going to be the star before they're the star. Like, they're cheaper. And Camavinga at potentially £25 million, the level of ability that he's got, he could be £100 million player in 3 or 4 years' time. So for me, it's an astronomical piece of business if Manchester United can pull that off. What's your thoughts surrounding the Varane situation, Habby? Do you think that it's a deal United are going to pull off, or do you get a sense that he's going to stay and remain at Real Madrid?
I feel like I really want Varane to come, but at the end of the day, I have no idea, because maybe Varane, he may be using us to negotiate a better contract. So I'm not too sure, but I feel like we have the chance of getting him. I feel like we have a huge shot at getting him.
I hear you on that. I hear you. Listen, Habby, great call. Thanks for coming on the terrace, mate, and having your say. Top man indeed. Thank you. I tell you what I do find so interesting, though, in at the moment, is the amount of people that seem sort of, I don't even really know what the word is here, but just so upset and just so sad. Just so sad that Manchester United are linked to some really good players. The bitterness is real. The anger is real. The sadness is there. But remember, we've still got Ollie. That's all I'm going to say at it. We've still got Ollie at the club, so everyone's got to relax a little bit. Like, we don't even know how good this guy is going to be yet, but there is a lot of sadness. I see a lot of people sitting there like, oh, Man United are doing bits. Man United are doing this. Oh, Man United. Slow down a little bit. You know, I've also seen it the other way. I've seen it the other way as well, where there's Man United fans and they're out there and they're all sort of like, I can't believe the club is allowing Ollie to buy players. I can't believe Man United are allowed to sign players for Ollie. 400 million, and what has he done? It's a disgrace. I'm so sad. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. The crybabies out there are madness, absolute madness out there. Next on the show with the Terrace today is going to be Monsieur Ahmed. I'm intrigued to know what he thinks and what he feels about Liverpool's link to Saul Niguez. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Finally, there's a link to our player, at least after buying Konate. I mean, I saw this meme on social that City is linked with Grealish and Kane, Sancho for United at the time, and Haaland for Chelsea. And what do? We extend Adrian's contract. That's our business going so far. But yeah, Saul Niguez, I mean, he's an integral part of Atletico Madrid's title-winning season. He's got the winning mentality, and I think he'd be a very good asset to Liverpool, especially at 26 years old. He still can improve. There's still improvement. He'll be a good replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. Defensively, he's good, solid, and offensively, I mean, the one that stands out is that Champions League goal where he took on against Bayern Munich, took on those 3 players and scored, and that just stands out for me the most. But yeah, he would be a very good buy for us. Will fit in with the squad, will fit in with the rotation, the way we play, and I think Klopp can make him an even better player than he is. So I'd say go for it, Liverpool. If you don't, the fans will be on your ass chasing you. So just please buy someone, because I just want a signing. After Konate, I just feel so depressed. That sad music you put on, Terry, it just reminds me of that. That's what I felt like.
Like, do you feel sort of? Is it worse because you see a club like Manchester United doing good business?
Yeah, the thing about Liverpool is they've set such an expectation. I mean, last season was one of the poor seasons they had, but the previous season, he set an expectation so high that you're expecting to compete, and you see the teams that you're going to compete against, your Cities, your United, your Chelseas, they're strengthening up. Now, whilst we've got a good bunch of squad players and players there, like still got Salah, Mane, they're at 29, 30. You need a fresh set of players to reinvigorate the passion, that winning mentality again. Last season, if you saw it, it went stale, and Jota was that shining light. We need those extra new fresh players for them to think, you know what, we need to fight for our place here. We want to win, so that's what we need to do. And I just want to say one thing, and they're going to be like, oh, you're bantering Chelsea again. What if Chelsea just signs Danny Ings because he just rejected a new contract? Just saying.
Look, I kind of feel like I sort of feel like Liverpool fans, like Chelsea fans, need to relax a little bit. I do think you need to relax. I think you need to remain patient and also understand the way your club just does business. Like this notion of Liverpool spending, it's funny really, because 2 years ago, I had Liverpool fans boasting that they don't sign superstars, they make them. Now I'm seeing Liverpool fans crying for that same thing they praised. And maybe it's because they had maybe they were only praising all these things when you were winning titles, when you were on the top of the tree, essentially. As soon as you that kind of dipped and that changed, it's almost like, oh, actually, I want us to change our model now. My view is very much this: you can never compete pound for pound with Man City and Chelsea. In fact, I don't think you can't compete pound for pound with Man United either financially. So you have to have a different approach to these clubs. And the fact that you've won a Champions League and a Premier League, and you come very close. In fact, in that 4-year period, you've nearly won 2 Premier Leagues and 2 Champions Leagues. But you were literally 1 point off in a crazy season, and you were a good goalkeeper away from maybe winning back-to-back Champions League. So I don't necessarily think Liverpool need to change anything that they're doing. But of course, the only issue you have is when your team hit its peak. You didn't have a strong Man United, and you definitely didn't have a strong Chelsea. Well, if that makes sense. If both those teams get stronger and better over the next 12 to 18 months, even your approach might not work. So I understand the frustration, but I would just say to a lot of fans at the minute, remain calm. Jadon Sancho is the only major deal to get done this summer by anyone, right? By any club. First, sizable amount of money being spent. And a lot of that deal was done last year and around Christmas time when you start looking at the facts. No other deal's been done yet. And I think it's going to take 2 or 3 deals that have started this summer to be done before we start to see a real kind of knock-on effect from there. But Monster, as ever, thank you for all your support, mate, and everything you do for the Terrace. It means a great deal. Top man indeed. Let's do some of your comments that are coming through here. Aaron says it's still early in the window. I'm not panicked. Liverpool make moves in silence. This is true. Marble Hall says Liverpool is an elite club. Shouldn't be proud of Poundland shopping. Shop at Waitrose. What else are we saying here? Daniel says Bright. I don't give an F about Man United. Also, he's obsessed with Chelsea. I don't know what that is aimed at, Danny boy. I don't know what that's aimed at, my brother. I don't know what you're aiming that at, my guy. But there we go. What else is being said here? Hang on a minute. What the Football Terrace group chat's going off? Oh, it's okay. It's cool. It's nothing major. Sometimes it all goes off, and I'm like, "What's going on now? What's happening? What's happening?" Check Evra's Twitter. Is he? What's he doing? Let me go check Evra. Let me go check Evra out. I don't know what Evra's been saying. I love Patrice. So what's he saying? Let's have a look at what. Is there music? See, I don't think that's trolling. I feel like that's just him having a laugh. It's funny though. I can't play it because there's music in the background. That's quality. I love that. See, that's a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of fun. Big up Uncle Pat. Next on the show, we're going to go to EJ. EJ's on the show with us now. Welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say, bro? You're on mute if you're trying to talk.
My bad. I didn't know I was on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, my guy.
Hi, man. I was just first-time caller. Thanks for accepting. I was on here before, but anyway, ignore what I was just saying before that. You're right about the Camavinga thing of being the future. We should sign the future stars. I think so too, because we were built on that, weren't we? We used to buy them and make them. I like buying already standard-made players, but they have to fit in. With youngsters, you can make them fit in eventually with time. And that's all I was trying to get at. And then earlier I said to you by accident that you were talking nonsense. You weren't. I was saying the chat was being weird about signings and all that stuff. It's not all. It's give time. Give time till past the 11th, past the Euros.
Well said. EJ, listen, top
and that's
man.
all. Thanks, my man.
Thank you, mate, for calling in. Top man. Thank you. Really appreciate that, my buddy. Thank you. Next on the show, we're going to go to Jurgen Klopp is the name that he's got as his username. So when I see him unmute, I'll get him on to have his say whenever Jurgen Klopp is ready and waiting. He's not unmuted yet, so I'm going to go to a different caller. I'm going to go to Father CFC. Welcome to the Terrace. What do you want to say?
Yeah, man. I've been hearing about this Camavinga news for a while now, and it's a bit frustrating to watch at the moment because I think we put our eggs basket in the Haaland basket. You know, it feels like it's so frustrating to see, but at the same time, I want to look at the positive. I think Camavinga is a good player, but he's a bit overhyped. If I were Chelsea, I would still get Tchouaméni because I think that's our backup target after Declan Rice. And Tchouaméni is that kind of prospect that was recommended by Cesc Fabregas and Peter Cech. And don't forget, he's one of the players that we've been linked for about a few weeks now, and won't be surprised that Tchouaméni we can get him in a cheaper price than Declan Rice, because I think Declan Rice price tag is kind of questionable, because even though he had a good Euros, but it just doesn't explain the overall form on ECV. But at the moment, it's just playing a patient game. I know it's been we need a couple of basket, like you said, like two to three players to sign for, and at the moment, if you want to sign Camavinga to United, I can see that, because I think Manchester United is the one that they're on a rebuild team at the moment, and I would not be surprised if you guys going to get him before us.
I mean, it's going to be an intro. I think Man United are leading Chelsea in that race as it stands right now. But listen, stranger things have happened in football. It can change. Chelsea might decide actually we want him more than Rice, and suddenly go, right, we were prepared to bid 50 mil for Rice, but there's 50 mil for Camavinga, and that changes things. Would you bid 50 mil for a player that's free next year though? I also doubt it. So I think that Rennes are trying to get this bidding war going, but I'm just not sure if clubs are convinced that he's the right player to do it for. I think there are a handful of players, Haalands and Mbappe's, and a handful of others over the last sort of 10 years or so that you would look at and say, like, categorically, you've just got to get them no matter what. I think Camavinga's very good. Is he that? I don't quite think so. Listen, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on the terrace and having your say.
Cheers.
Next on the show, we're going to go to Lamin. Lamin is here with us now on the terrace. Welcome back, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Terry. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm very, very well, my friend. I'm very, very well. What do you want to say?
I'm just getting like really annoyed. Like yesterday, Ben White, today, Camavinga. I actually think someone is just trying to use Chelsea's name to get like the value of these players up here. Because I can just see like there would be an uproar if Chelsea goes on and sign these players and not get a striker in. Of course, the priority is still to get a striker. That's all I want us to be linked with, getting a top-class striker. Camavinga, I don't really know how good he is. I don't watch the French league, but we've got alternatives there. We've got Billy Gilmore, like who's on loan this season. Camavinga is not going to come in and replace any of our centre mids. So I don't really see the point. And yesterday with Ben White, it also doesn't really make any sense. So I just think they're just using our names, really. It could be the agents, it could be the clubs, but I'm not buying it. I just want a striker. What I will say, though, is that if Chelsea don't sign a striker, that's when you're going to see the other side of Chelsea fans, when we're just probably just going to go mad because we start losing faith in like the whole Marina and the whole transfer policy and just thinking that we're going to fall behind. But it has to be a good striker. Like I just want to see Chelsea linked with either Haaland, Lukaku, or Kane. That's it. If we only sign one of those, I'll be happy. I'll like, okay, cool, we're good to go. But Camavinga, any of the players that Arsenal are linked with, United, I'm not saying he's not a bad player, but I just don't think he's going to improve our squad. Oh, he's what we need right now anyway. So I don't see the point, and I think we're being used really.
There we go. Lamins, how do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Chelsea name, is it being used? I want your views. I want your opinions on that right about now, please, ladies and gentlemen. Terry, have you talked about Arsenal's bid for Locatelli? No, we haven't. Maybe later on this evening, we've got some other news we're waiting for that could be linked to Arsenal. So we're waiting on that one. Let's take a look here at the poll that we've posted in the live comment section. 55% think that Camavinga will play at Manchester United next season. 19% say Paris Saint-Germain. 18% Chelsea. And just 8% think he will remain at Rennes next year. Camavinga made his French debut at 18. Pogba and even the French players said he will become a star. He must just work hard. Listen, I think he will be a star. I think he will. Is he are there other midfielders out there, though, that you can get that are going to be equally? Is he worth dropping 50, 60 million pound on this year with 1 year left on his deal? I don't think so. But we'll see. I'm talking from a business standpoint here, not a player level. So let's give a bit of a recap before we go to more calls in relation to what we've been here to speak about today. I know a few people are asking for recaps. So first and foremost, Camavinga, we know that Man United have held talks with him. There is a reported £30 million bid that is going to be submitted somewhere in the space of the next week. It is reported that this will be turned down by Rennes. Rennes are trying to create a bidding war. Not long after this news coming out that Rennes are going to try and create a bidding war, does some news come out that Chelsea have held or will be holding talks, depending on the publication you read, with the agents, of course, with the Stella Group of Camavinga in the coming days. My personal belief is that Chelsea's name is being used here to try and create a bidding war. We know that PSG have shown interest and Man United have shown genuine interest and have had conversations with the agents. I don't necessarily think it's as true as it's being made out. That's that news as it stands right now. You may believe Chelsea are in for him, and you've got every right to believe it. If you want to believe it, come on the Football Terrace. The link to call in is attached to our live comment section, so feel free to phone up and have your say. In other news, the blow for Man United and Varane is more of a wake-up call than a blow, but it definitely needs to be spoken about. We've been saying this on the Done Deal show now for over 3 weeks, that Man United want Varane. Varane has expressed an interest in coming to Man United. The personal terms are either in a pre-agreement, not a problem, or a done deal. I don't really care for the semantics around it. It depends upon your favorite journalist's way of expressing it as to whether or not you think they're done or there won't be a problem. I couldn't care less. They all mean the same thing to any logical thinking person. But the blow for Man United is the fact that Varane is now talking to Real Madrid again. Carlo Ancelotti wants to keep him. It's expected that a gesture, the way it's been worded is a gesture, but an improved contract offer will be made to Rafael Varane. And most experts have said all along that if an improved offer comes in, most believe he will choose to stay at Real Madrid. He could shock the world and pick Man United and pick playing for Oli and pick playing with Cavani, Sancho, Rashford and co. But he is waiting and anticipating this new offer and this plea and this gesture from Carlo Ancelotti. That's the main news around Man United and Chelsea this afternoon. Saul Niguez is linked with a big move this summer to Liverpool Football Club. Reportedly, Atletico Madrid and Liverpool are going to be negotiating on the price very, very soon, as Liverpool see him as a proper medium to long-term replacement, of course, of the exiting Gini Wijnaldum that's now a PSG player. Do me a big, big favor and smash that like button right now, please. Just send this past 500 likes. If you want to make sure you never miss any more notifications coming from the Football Terrace, sign up to our Discord server. That's one way of doing it. But a quick, easy, fast way of getting it done is to sign up to our brand new private WhatsApp group. It's just called the Terrace Notifications. Anyone can sign up to it. It's really quick and easy. The link for it is inside our description below. You'll see it. It's the first thing you'll come across. Sign up and we will be posting every video we're about to go live with. Will get posted in there so you can get across there early. You can hit the like button. You can set your reminders. You'll never miss another Football Terrace stream again. Because we know that YouTube don't notify anybody unless you're on their preferred list. And being on their preferred list, I don't know what you have to do to get on their preferred list, but I'm not on their preferred list. I'm verified. I'm not preferred list. Anyway, we got a Cam next. Canadian Cam is here with us. Camavinga to Man United. Chelsea reportedly hijacking it. Give me your thoughts, brother.
God, they're being used. I mean, they're not cool, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense for Chelsea at this stage. Like you just said, Billy Gilmore, who everybody's talking about, is like, the next big thing and on loan. And you're going to bring in another 18-year-old to just do what, right? Like Chelsea's midfield's pretty stacked. So I think it's one of those things where this is going to happen. It sounds like Rennes isn't getting a lot of offers for him, and when it's just PSG and United in there, and it seems like United have been very strong recently in saying this is what we're offering, you can take it or we'll move on. So if we're offering 30 million and nobody else is, and Rennes like, well, we need to at least put pressure on them, then bringing in Chelsea is the best way to do it, right? I just don't see where he fits or why he would go there. Like it doesn't make sense. So that's one of those things where it feels like they're just being used, because like the Billy Gilmore going out on loan thing for me is the reason why it doesn't make any sense. You just wouldn't send out a young talent around the same age and then bring in a player. Again, I've never watched Camavinga play, so I'm not going to say I know how he plays, but based on all the reports, it seems like they're similar players. So why would you make that move? That's the weird one for me. So I'm confident if we're actually in for him and Rennes will accept what we're offering, I'm confident he'll end up here. Because why not, right? If you only have a year left on your contract, you don't want to stay at Rennes. PSG may not be the greatest spot to go after Gini's going there and potentially Pogba, so no space for him there. Coming to United makes sense.
It does make sense, and I think most Chelsea fans agree with you that they're being used, or they're having their name used to try and create this bidding war. The timing of it coming out for me is just a little bit too convenient, if that makes sense. It's just like, okay, yeah, pull the other one, mate. We've seen this before. So I'm not surprised by that at all. They've got such quality in their midfield where Man United lack that in terms of quality on the ball. We don't have what they have in the midfield. We have a lot of workhorses. We have a lot of people that as you say, run a lot
we have runners.
We have runners. We just don't have ballers, and I think that it makes much more sense for Man United to be in for him than it does Chelsea. I mean, it doesn't mean Chelsea wouldn't do it, but I think with the area, especially with Chelsea needing to improve their attacking line desperately, it would just strike me as a really weird deal.
Mm-hmm. Even though they have infinite money, it's kind of one of those things where you're just thinking, there's just no space to develop him. Like, they have such a great midfield. Like you said, that just where's the value at all? Like, they went and got Kai last year as a speculative ad because he was a generational talent, right? That made more sense, and nobody else was in for him. Camavinga was not being touted as much as that type of talent. You don't just go out and spend 35 million on a player where you have 6 players who can play his position. Like, literally, there's about 6 players at Chelsea, and guys out on loan, right? You've got guys out on loan still, like RLC and guys in the squad like Joe, who I know he's playing more of a winger, but you've got players in your squad that are currently not getting in there, and it just doesn't make sense to bring in an 18-year-old unknown French prospect for 35 million or 40, 50, whatever they would say, because I think Rennes would be like, well, Chelsea's going to pay 50 or 60, so United pay that. It's like, cool, well, we're out. It wouldn't make sense for them because they need all their funds. Like, if we're going to be honest, every bit of their funds needs to be put towards a striker. Like, that's it. Chelsea's final piece of the puzzle is getting a striker. They don't need anything else. And if they're going to get a midfielder, it's going to be Declan Rice, right? Like, that's who their target's been for 2 years. Same as kind of Sancho. People don't really remember that, but Declan Rice has been Chelsea's target for years now. And I think if they're going to get a midfielder and they're going to splash, it'll be on him.
That makes sense to me. I mean, everything you're saying makes complete and utter sense. Cam, great call, mate. Thank you very much for coming back on the show, mate. And we'll speak again soon, buddy.
Peace, buddy.
Top man. Thank you very, very much indeed. We're going to go to Joseph next. Joseph is a Liverpool fan. I'd love to get his take on things. When I see his mic on mute, I'll get him on. We'll put him in now, actually, and see if he's there. Joseph, you there?
Hello? Yeah. Hello?
Joseph, you are well too young to be on the terrace, my friend. You've got to be over the age of 18. Sorry, young man. Take care of yourself. We're going to go to Oh My Daisy, Deezy, on the show next. What you saying, bro?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been watching your show for a little while.
I appreciate that, my friend. Who'd you support yourself?
I'm a United fan.
Good stuff. So what's your take on the Camavinga situation?
In my opinion, it's an interesting one. I think a lot of it is like a lot of paper talk, because I don't think half these guys, like half the things that you're hearing in the papers, I don't think they know what's going on, to be honest. Because if you look at it, what do Chelsea need another midfielder? They have Kante, they have Jorginho, they have so many midfielders. I don't think they need another one, to be honest.
I agree. I used to look at it very much like papers are just making things up, and the kind of journalists that reported on this, then I think this is Rennes. I think this is Rennes feeding it into them, or maybe even maybe the Stella Group, maybe the agents saying, look, we just want to, because agents want to get their players a deal secured quickly. Rennes want a resolution as quickly as possible. Yeah. I just think, as Cam said, I think Chelsea are being used here. I think they're just used a bit like with Arsenal and the Ben White situation. It just doesn't. Nothing about it feels real.
Especially, I don't think they need an unproven player. I think if they was gonna bring someone in the midfield to displace, because if you look at it, Chelsea's strongest part of their team really is their midfield. So if you're gonna bring someone in, you're gonna have to have like a proven 100% gonna come in and start kind of guy, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, I hear that completely. In terms of him being linked to Man United, though, how much of an improvement do you think he could make to our midfield in the sort of short to medium term?
Oh man. So much. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't put it into words. Scott McTominay and Fred are the bane of my life, to be completely honest. I rate them as individuals, as players. They seem like lovely guys, but Jesus Christ, on the football pitch, they're a nightmare. Fred alone, I think towards the back end of the season, I'm pretty sure he cost us at least 12 points by himself. Scott McTominay, his passing range is so limited, it's a nightmare. I think having someone in there that could play in the six by himself carry the ball forward like I've seen Camavinga do. I'm not going to pretend like I know all about him, but I've seen him carry the ball forward and make like long passes that neither of those two have. I think it would be a big step if we would manage to get him.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't that much. I don't think he's that much better than Scott McTominay, really. I'm joking. I'm joking. Like technical ability on the ball, of what I've seen of Camavinga, I've been looking at a lot of his stuff in the last few days. He's just technically more gifted, and I think that, you know, if you could give Camavinga's technical ability to Scott McTominay with his
100%.
athleticism and his physicality, you wouldn't need one. But man, that's where there's times in the Prem last year where we just struggled because we didn't have that quality on the ball. We just lacked that last little bit that was needed to get us over the line in games. And I think Camavinga, I don't know whether we'll do it straight away, and everyone's gonna have a different. I think it might take him a year or two to settle.
Yeah.
However, never know. He could be one of those 18-year-olds that comes in and just straight away you think, fuck me, look at him go. But definitely £25 million, there's almost no risk to it.
To be honest, I don't think, even if, let's say, we don't manage to get him and he goes to PSG because he's a French boy, he likes PSG and that, I think it's not necessarily the end of the world, to be honest. I think all United need at the moment, we need someone that can hold on to the ball in pressure moments, like maybe when we're 1-0, 2-1 up towards the end of the game, because getting the goals is not a problem for United no more. Conceding goals, fix the CDM area. I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore. All you need is someone that can hold on to the ball and just relieve some of the pressure that inevitably comes when we're holding on to the ball and everybody's behind the ball, in my opinion, anyways.
No, I hear you on that. Listen, mate, great call. Thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say top man. Speak to you again soon. Great caller, especially for a debut as well. Very, very good indeed. Very, very impressive. Well spoken. Mo here says this guy makes perfect sense. No, he's speaking true. Twisted Bubba actually speaking sense here, where he says when a prerequisite becomes a talent, football is dead. That's also so true. That's also very, very true indeed. When, you know, hard work, energy, work rate, these things should be an expected. It's almost a case of I expect every player to have them. You know, when you're talented and you don't have them, that's a problem. But if all you've got is a prerequisite, then the team's in trouble. But I would take 11 players with 100% dedication to the prerequisites than I would 11 players who don't but have superior talent, because I think you're more likely to win still. Terry, who will win, Italy or Spain? I think it's very easy to say Italy, so I'm going to say Italy. It's an easy prediction. Yeah, no, I think Italy will do it. I think it's going to be an Italy-England final. Which I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, but I'm not even thinking about the final yet, though. Really, I'm thinking these semi-finals are going to be amazing tomorrow and Wednesday. Let's just enjoy them. It's been an amazing tournament. We've been there every step of the way on the terrace, and I'm a little bit sad to see it coming to an end. But the great thing is, you know, a few days will pass, and then it's going to be the build up to the Premier League season. Our new studio is on its way to being ready. Remember, if you're part of the, you know, we have shared a few of the pictures with our members on the community page on the terrace. If you are a member, you've obviously seen them. Yeah, lots coming, lots to be done. Very, very exciting times. Very, very exciting times indeed. Mohammed says it's coming home. Speaking of Mohammed's actually going to be on the show next with us. Mohammed's a Liverpool fan. Sound against the Liverpool. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Hello, Terry. I just want to touch upon Saul Niguez. He's a good player. He's still in his prime, 26, 27, so we can get a lot of years out of him. I think the price for him is about 35 to 40 million, so I mean that's very much in Liverpool's price range. So if Liverpool do make a bid, the price shouldn't be the issue for Liverpool there. And I've been looking at the injury record as well. He's not injury prone, and we do need to make sure we buy less injury prone players, because the amount of injury prone players we have at Liverpool is a bit of a joke, to be honest. And then the only question or issue is like if he can hit the ground running, or will it take him time to adjust to the league, like we've seen with other players in the past that have come from a different league. And also I think we need another midfielder. I think Saul is not enough. We need that what's his name? That October from Porto. We've been linked. I think if we get those two, I think that's the midfield sorted out.
We will see. Listen, I think Saul Niguez, I don't know how much time he'll need. I think he's beyond super talented, but we will see. Listen, my guy, thank you very, very much for coming on, having us. I really appreciate it, Mohammed. And everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you, all of our super chatters, our brand new members, our brand new subscribers, and of course, get yourselves over and sign yourselves up to the brand new WhatsApp group we've created. The link is in our description below, so you never miss another notification again. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again.